Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. Got a lot to get into today, so might as well, get started. Stay tuned. All right, well, I'm going to go on a rant today because, that's what I do sometimes. And I posted a statement on Facebook yesterday or last night about how, I don't support Black Lives Matter. I don't. And not because Black lives don't matter, because they do. All lives matter. But here's what I want to get to today. They come up with these really cool names, right? That doesn't even remotely categorize the organization itself. They'll come up with stuff like Planned Parenthood or Black Lives Matter. Okay, well, at first you think, well, if you don't support that organization, you don't think Black Lives Matter. Well, that's just simply not true. I don't support the organization. I think they're a bunch of racist bigots and rioters and chaos and about the same as Antifa. I mean, they just keep division going in this country. I mean, and the people holding those signs have no clue about the organization itself and how it supports, for instance, voters' rights for illegal aliens. Now, and that's true. They make no apologies for it because there's a voter block there that they want to get so that they can get the people in office, the Democrats in office, to control you. And so, but they come up with these really cool names like Black Lives Matter, and they come up with these really cool names like Planned Parenthood again. You think Planned Parenthood, well, that's going to plan you to be a parent, when in fact 80% of their business is abortion and killing babies. Same thing with Black Lives Matter. The name doesn't represent the organization. That's the whole point. So before you get on your high horse about supporting like Jeff Bezos, which is a moron, to say the least, you don't bring a business model in there like that. You don't take your company and wrap it around an organization or, and here's the thing with Jeff Bezos, from what I read, in his executive divisions of his company, he has very few black people. The only black people he has working for him is the ones that work in the plants. There's very few people at the upper echelon of Amazon. Why is that? Well, it's not because Black Lives Matter. It's because, these people hide behind their rhetoric. I'm not racist. I don't care about people's color of their skin. And I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that, I have black friends. That's a real good indication that you're trying to cover up for something, or that you support these organizations you don't support their agenda. You support the name of what is supposedly their agenda. And that's what all these young people are doing. They're getting on these bridges and holding up these signs. They're supporting what they think that the organization represents because the name is cool, when that's not what the organization represents. The organization, look at the riots. What about the black-owned businesses that were destroyed? The fact is Morgan Freeman said it right. You're not going to get rid of racism until you stop talking about it. Stop segregating yourself is basically what he was talking about. You can't have selective segregation and think that you're going to get rid of the race problem, because all you're doing is creating more division. When you create an organization that is geared to one color of people or one race of people, you're segregating yourself. And in that situation, it's never going to heal, ever. And look, we don't, and I hate to tell you this, but black people don't have the corner on the market or the have not cornered the market on being killed by police. There's more white people each year get killed by police than black people. Now, there's more black on black crime. Take Chicago, I think, last week, 23 dead. I want to, if my numbers are right, somebody can leave me a correction in the comments. But the fact of the matter is this. Just because you don't support an organization with a really cool name that doesn't represent what the organization's about, doesn't mean you don't like black people. Just the way it is. Oh, and there are racist black people. If you didn't know, there are. It's just that simple. I mean, we're human beings. You're gonna have morons in every race. Doesn't matter. Now, it's like George Floyd. What happened to him was a tragedy, an absolute tragedy. But he was not a good guy. He was a criminal. And I think if my figures are correct, he went to prison 3, 4, 5 times. Had methamphetamines in his system when he was killed. Now, does that excuse those officers? Oh no. They should be punished. If they're convicted, they should go to prison for a long time. What they did, and I am a former cop. What they did was just asinine. They should have got him in the car. But now, if the Attorney General starts asking for too much, now you heard it here. If he starts overcharging them, a lot of times prosecutors will overcharge, and then the juries won't convict them. But if he had methamphetamines in his system, and those officers have attorneys worth their salt, they're going to start arguing that it wasn't the asphyxiation that killed him. It was the methamphetamines that caused the heart attack. And trust me, I don't care. You can find experts on either side to support your narrative. All you got to do is create reasonable doubt in the jury's mind. I'm not saying that they should be convicted or acquitted because I don't know the evidence. I don't know you have to do an investigation on it. We see one clip of the video that's 8 minutes long that looks horrific. Looks like that's bad, and it was bad. They should have picked him up 30 seconds after he was on the ground and put him in the car. It looked to me, from looking at some of the other videos, it looked to me like he was playing limp, trying to just prolong it didn't look to me like he was fighting or kicking or screaming. It looked to me like he was just trying to limp down. And it most likely made that, I forget what his name, what's that, the guy with his knee on his neck. I've said it 1,000 times, and for whatever, it leaves me. Anyway, it looks to me like he just made that guy mad. And he killed him, murdered him. That's awful. What you see on the video is awful. Really was no sense in that at all. But folks, these anarchists, and that's what they are, Black Lives Matter and Antifa are anarchists. And I think you've got a lot of people in those organizations that really believe that what they're doing is social warriors and social justice, and they don't realize what the actual organization itself supports. It's just my opinion. I was listening to Candace Owens, and I really like her show, and she went on a rant about it. And I agree with her. I do. They're making George Floyd out to be just this awesome guy, and he wasn't. He didn't deserve to die, but he wasn't an awesome guy. He was a thug. So you heard it here first. Well, that's the conclusion of this show today. We've got a lot of work to do, and I've got to get to it. So be safe. God bless. And I'll see you on the next show.